Hello and welcome to Big Dumb Movie, where we discuss a different Big Dumb movie every episode. I'm your host Corey, and I'm here with my co-hosts Alan.
Hello.
And Steve.
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy, Steve.
Ahoy.
The next Karate Kid is the film we're going to talk about. How do you feel about it?
It's pretty mediocre.
Now, how do you feel though?
How do I feel right now? Bored.
Alan, how do you feel?
Very let down. Despite what the title says, there is very minimal karate, if not none.
But there's a lot of next and a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Karate.
Well, there's a next, and then there's some other kids.
You guys ever see the movie Next?
Which one was
With
next?
Nicolas
With Nick Cage? Yeah.
No, I know of it, but I didn't see it.
Alan's typical reaction.
Yep. Right?
So, The Next Karate Kid is a film that was directed by a guy called Christopher Kane, also written by him. He directed a little film you might have seen called Young Guns.
Yeah, that actually I liked.
Me too.
Yeah.
Didn't see it.
To the shock of no one, Alan hasn't seen it.
Definitely a high point for Emilio Estevez.
This film was different than the other three in that it had a different director. So the same guy directed the first three.
Yeah.
His name was John Avildsen.
Yeah, he's also the guy that directed the original Rocky, and he was brought back later on for one of the later ones.
Rocky 4.
Yeah.
So what happened with this one? Why did they change?
I don't know. I did very little research. Steve, if you don't know an answer, just make one up. We'll take it.
Avildsen, I'm pretty sure, backed out because he had another project he was more interested in doing.
Actually, I think that's right.
Yeah, and I don't remember what that was, but it was another movie that you'd know the name of. And this guy just sort of stepped in to take the job, I guess. I don't know how they found him. I don't know anything about most of the rest of his work. Right.
So I know, Alan, you haven't seen this movie up until today.
Nope.
So my question for you is, have you seen any of the Karate Kid movies?
I think you already know where this is going. But no. Actually, the first one I know is iconic. I've seen parts of it, but I never actually saw it. And I didn't see the second or third ones or this one till now. And I probably could have gone without seeing this one. But no, I haven't seen them.
Well, Steve, have you seen The Next Karate Kid before today?
I had seen it before. I have vague memories of my brother seeing it in the theater with friends. I didn't see it in the theater. I didn't see it for the first time until like a year-ish later, like on HBO or one of the other movie channels. But I'd seen it before. I think this is maybe the third time I've seen it, though, and it's been years. So
I see. I didn't see it in theaters either, but I have memories of me watching this a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
So we had like a lot of movies that were like bootleg recorded off like the movie channels.
Yeah,
you'd have like 3 on 1 VHS tape.
Right.
Well, we did that a lot in my household, and this was one of the ones that I'd watch frequently, along with like, Terminator 2 and a bunch of others. For some reason, I watched this shit a lot.
Right.
I don't even remember liking it. I just remember putting it on and watching it for some reason.
I was 11 when it came out, and I remember being interested in Hilary Swank, but the rest of it not so much.
Yeah, you were a big Boys Don't Cry fan.
I had at the time, the first time I saw this movie, I had no idea what that movie was. I didn't discover that movie till I was in my teens.
Wait, was that one before this or after?
I don't know.
I have
Probably
no idea.
after, actually.
Yeah, but yeah, no. The other three I was a big fan of. In fact, I'd gone as the Daniel LaRusso character for Halloween one year. As like an 8 or a 9-year-old, I liked the movie so much.
You mean you were at the shower?
Right? No, I just referred to myself as the Karate Kid. I was taking Taekwondo at the time, so I wore my gi, and my mother made a headband for me that had. My grandparents had gone to Hong Kong and mainland China and Japan on a trip and had brought back coloring books and stuff for me. So my mother, who had no idea how to read and write in Japanese, copied kanji characters out of one of the books my grandmother had brought back for me and just put them on a headband, and I wore it around my head. Sick. And when people asked what I was, I just said the Karate Kid. To this day, I have no idea what she actually wrote on the headband. She could have wrote
like, I'm a dickhead or something.
Yeah, it could have been obscene. It could have been a single word. It may not have meant anything at all, because I'm pretty sure she just picked out the characters she felt she could replicate the most accurately and just put them on there.
Dude, it probably just said like giraffe.
Yeah,
probably just said like color
Absolutely.
in the lines or follow the lines or something.
Right? But yeah, this was kind of actually, I don't know, it's kind of an odd one because normally anything karate based at that age I would have really wanted to see, but
yeah, I was big into karate too as a kid.
Right?
So here's a question. I know they read the second season of Cobra Kai, which continues the Karate Kid. Is this one canon? Is Hilary Swank going to show up?
I don't
So
think so.
this film is canon in the Karate Kid verse,
It is.
but I don't think she'll be in the next one.
Yeah.
Now, they are doing a lot in the Cobra Kai series to like bring in continuity. Like they're bringing in characters from the first 3 films, and I think it's great.
They're not going to bring her?
I haven't heard anything about it, and there's no hint at it. There is a hint that they're going to bring back Elizabeth Shue, who is the girlfriend in the first Karate Kid movie. Cobra Kai is a great series. I love it. Like my experience with the original Karate Kid movies is like they're all right. You know, they're pretty good, I guess. They're kind of hokey. The Cobra Kai series is the pinnacle of Karate Kid. It's better than the original films, and it's better than this film. Maybe Jaden Smith movies might be the king, but you know.
See, and I prefer the movies to the show. I'll be honest, like I don't hate the show. I'm not talking shit, but like I'm having difficulty liking it on that level.
Oh, dude, have you finished season 1?
No, I only watched like the first half of it, so I watched the rest of it. But
Well, I really liked it immediately, so.
yeah, I absolutely, definitely.
Well, it's got to be better than this one.
They're all better than this one. People talk shit about the third Karate Kid where they went to Okinawa, and I liked that one.
The second one.
The second one, you're right. And I thought that one was a lot better than this.
So I was going to ask you, Steve, to do a quick Karate Kid recap so we can catch up to this one, which is the 4th film.
All right, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure it's totally necessary, but basically, the premise they set up in the first one is this kid, Daniel LaRusso, moves with his mother from New Jersey to Reseda, which is a suburb in the San Fernando Valley here in Southern California, part of LA. And they end up moving into an apartment building managed by an older Japanese man whose name is Mr. Miyagi. And we find out over the course of the story that Mr. Miyagi is a World War II veteran. He was highly decorated. He was in a highly decorated unit that saw a lot of combat. His wife and child were interred at Manzanar, where they both passed, sadly. And Mr. Miyagi eventually teaches Daniel karate, which he uses to overcome difficulties with bullies at school. That's the first one. He also trains with Mr. Miyagi to win, and eventually does win, the All Valley Karate Championships. Second one, Miyagi's running bonsai tree business is the second one.
Third one.
Third one. I get the second one and third one conflated, even as many times as I've seen them.
So in the second one,
oh, that's right.
They go
Second
to Japan.
one, yeah. Second one, they go to Japan. No. The second one's the one with the other karate instructor.
That's the third one.
The third one. What?
Come on,
Damn
Steve,
it!
get your karate.
All right, look. All I know
straight.
is over the course of the next 2 films,
Combine them.
Daniel goes. They basically are combined. The second one starts like 5 minutes after the end of the first film. Literally, it does.
In the parking lot.
In the parking lot. Yeah, at the end of the karate championship. So, like, yes, they go to Japan. They settle some family business or Mr. Miyagi's. Daniel meets a girl in Japan who he eventually has to leave. There's some karate training. Back in the U.S., Mr. Miyagi starts a business growing bonsai trees, and then there are more bullies who try to destroy the bonsai tree business. And there's a mean karate instructor who's a friend of the karate instructor that Daniel and Mr. Miyagi beat in the first film, and they're trying to get revenge.
Terry Silver and John Kreese.
Yeah, there we go. Terry Silver is the name. I couldn't remember the other guy. Yeah. And those characters were fun. I like the scene where Daniel bloodies his knuckles in the dojo. But
That's pretty good.
Right. And then those films eventually Daniel graduates from high school, and I think the implication here is that he's probably gone away to college. But this movie takes place at some point a few years after 3. Mr. Miyagi has gone to Boston for the funeral of someone he fought in the war with. It turns out that man's widow is raising their granddaughter whose parents died in a car wreck, and that's kind of the setup for this one.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nice segue, too.
Now,
Right.
Wait a minute. I'm going to correct you here. I don't think that was a funeral. Wasn't that just
Oh, no,
like
sorry. It wasn't really a funeral. It was
They
like
were getting cited.
You're right. They were they were collecting an award. And at this award ceremony was the widow of someone that Miyagi had fought with. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and then the daughter.
That gets us into the next Karate Kid, right? So you're right. Miyagi and Daniel have, I guess, parted ways off screen.
Yeah.
And we get to meet Julie. You want to tell us about Julie, Alan?
Oh, Hilary Swank. So Julie is supposed to be 18, 17, 18. I think she says she's 18. But she's supposed to be like the rebellious high schooler. She's angry. She doesn't talk a lot. She's sarcastic. We find out that that's the woman she's living with is not her mom. It's the grandmother, because her parents died in a car accident, and that's why she's always upset and angsty, and she's like your typical angry teenager because parents just don't understand.
And her grandma calls her by the wrong name.
Her grandma calls her Susan.
Susan! My name is Julie. My mother's name was Susan. She was killed in a car accident with my father, and they're both dead.
And then that's when she says her real name's Julie, and Susan was her mom who died in the car crash.
It's just strange. That whole scene struck me
Well, I think
as
it was
odd.
a flustered moment. I mean, like, a couple of times in conversation, my mother has accidentally addressed me by either my father or my uncle's names. It's when I'm annoying her. She's getting annoyed. She's like, "Oh, fuck, shut up, Don," or whatever. You know, it's like, wait, you're not Don. Like, you know, but yeah, because she doesn't do it again the rest of the film. Although we don't really see her much the rest of the film. So
Yeah, she pretty much just takes off to California.
yeah,
She leaves pretty early because isn't that part of her plan? She's gonna go stay at Mr. Miyagi's place, so Mr. Miyagi can rule in Julie and make her more obedient and help her.
Yeah, he comes in to help out. He kind of starts acting as Julie's guardian, I guess, for however long he's going to be there. So he lives in their house, and Julie doesn't know him, so they have kind of a rough start where Miyagi doesn't understand teenage girls.
it's basically typical trope. The whole movie, for the remainder of the movie, the rest, oh, Miyagi doesn't get girls. He has that moment where he's like, "Oh, boys are easier." He walks in on her getting undressed by accident. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. The last time I did this, it was with Daniel-san, and I didn't."
He
have
was
to worry
real
about
cool with it. Like,
Yeah, he didn't mind if I walked in on him naked,
I'd walk in, I'd give him a back massage.
right?
Two straight guys hanging out.
light, totally hetero fondling, and then we were done.
Yeah, nothing sexual.
Teenage girl is so difficult.
Right? It's weird with a girl.
Miyagi have easy time with Daniel.
Daniel was much more submissive.
Oh my god, it reminds me of that Patton Oswalt story.
Right.
You've heard that? Where
Which one?
it's like his fanfic of his like Daniel LaRusso and Johnny
Oh,
Lawrence,
God,
like
yeah.
gay love affair.
Oh,
You know what, though? As a side mention, anyone listening, you might want to check it out. There's it's supposed to be comedy. It's a joke, but there's a video on YouTube where they're pitching the idea that Daniel's actually the bad guy in the Karate Kid movies.
That video got really popular, actually.
Yeah, I
And
guess. Yeah,
I think it kind of is what inspired Cobra Kai, because that's the viewpoint that Johnny Lawrence has in Cobra
yeah,
Kai.
yeah. I mean, you know what? Honestly, that perspective does not entirely fail to make sense.
I
mean,
agree.
that perspective is actually sort of valid if you think about it. So, like, yeah.
I sympathize with William Zabka as Johnny Lawrence in the
Yeah.
Cobra Kai series more than anything.
Really?
But here we are talking about Cobra Kai again.
yeah, because this
Yeah.
one's so forgettable.
Right? Well, no, I mean, one more comment, but like, I mean, look, clearly the character in that first film is kind of a teenage prick, but at the same time, the fact that he's a prick doesn't necessarily make him wrong. So it's like, you're not wrong, you're just an asshole, comes to mind. Like,
Am I wrong, Walter?
no, you're not wrong, you're just an asshole.
All right. So, Alan, what can you tell us about Julie's life at her high school? She's got it tough, I feel.
Oh yeah, so at her high school, she's definitely an outcast. I don't think she has any friends. Thinking about it, they don't really show her hanging out with anyone.
There's one moment going into school where someone calls "Hey Julie" to her, but that's it.
Okay, so someone says her name once, but
Yeah.
otherwise you can tell she's a loner. She's angry. She's not doing well. She's not doing her homework. You find out that she has a pet falcon or hawk.
Hawk, yeah.
A hawk on the school roof that she keeps where the janitors used to keep old pigeons. So she has this hawk, and that's her, like, what she's taking care of, but she's otherwise like a loner.
Yeah.
That subplot makes no sense.
All
None
right.
of it makes sense.
So I agree with you, but why do you say it makes no sense?
Well, first of all, nobody is ever up on this roof to notice that there's a bird being kept in these cages that no one's used in decades. Like, it's
Birds
weird
are
they-
loud.
Yeah, they've got school maintenance people. Like, eventually, over a period of weeks, something up there, an HVAC unit or something's going to need to be looked at. Someone is going to end up there. It's also weird. No one would think there's a bunch of noise coming up there from a bird. And it's really weird. Also, why did she feel compelled to keep it herself? I mean, you take it, you can bundle it up and take it to a vet. Like, I actually did that once as a kid. My mother and I found a injured but otherwise healthy bird in our front yard. We bundled it up and took it to a vet, and the vet just took care of it. Like, I don't know what they did with it. I guess they released it afterward. But, like, why would a teenage... I mean, I understand the motivation to, like, care for the bird, I get. Not want it to die, I get. But why keep it yourself? Why not just take it to someone who can take care of it?
Because she's a loner. The hawk's the only one that understands how angry she
Right?
is.
Yeah.
So the thing I was going to get at, Alan, was there's a group of lunatics at her high school that are in, like, a gang, I guess, called Alpha Elite.
Yeah, that name.
In the past, we've had external enemies. Now the enemy is in our country. It's inside our cities, in our schools.
In a war, you have to be ready and able to destroy your enemy.
Your school is clean and orderly because you are ready and able to give a maximum response.
Some punk brings spray paint, puts graffiti on our walls. We spray paint his eyeballs so that he sees red.
Some kid drops a candy wrapper, you make him pick it up and eat it. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready and able to give a maximum response?
Yes, sir.
A maximum effort?
Yes,
To go to the limit?
Like a school-sanctioned gang run by a teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's supposed to, some kind of like white power group. Like, I don't know what the fuck these guys are.
I
Like,
thought they were on the football team at first, and the coach was just a hard ass. And then it's like, no, they're literally just a gang run by an employee of the school.
They're like a quasi, like militant, like militia gang.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? They're like a fascist government's military arm, except they're like the principal's military
Yeah,
arm. It's like they're the school enforcers.
They're like all super in shape, and they wear like black get up and their boots.
A huge percentage of what they appear to be doing would definitely be illegal. I mean, it's absolute lawsuit material out the wazoo. Like, I mean, and then there's the constant assault and undertones of potential rape against Julie.
yeah, so that's from Ned, who's like the main leader of this group. He's not like the teacher leader, but as far as the students, he's like the main guy.
Yeah.
He's like the Johnny Lawrence, I guess.
Right.
Except I'd say even more psychotic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Johnny Lawrence character was, like I said, sort of a teenage prick. This guy is like a straight-up sociopath.
Morning, Julie. No. Those are bad for your ears.
Go to hell, Ned.
Now, I could take you down to the principal's office and get you into a little trouble. Or I could pick you up tomorrow night and take you down to the docks. You've been to the docks, haven't you, Julie? Pretty girl like you.
Dream on.
Hey! Most girls in this school invite me. Now, you're lucky to get an invitation. Now, come on, Julie. You know it's gonna happen.
Let go of me.
Ooh, if you start hanging out with me and my friends, you can have any damn thing that you want.
Let go of me.
Like violent sociopath.
He like approaches Julie multiple times, and he basically says like, if you don't date me, I'm going to kick your ass.
It's even more than date me. I mean, it's a strong implication. Like, you and I are going to go to this creepy, out-of-the-way place where I'm going to have intercourse with you, whether you want me to or not, or I'm going to get you kicked out of school.
Yeah, he like grabs her and like.
Yeah, and she keeps telling him to let her go.
basically.
He's like, what he did legally qualifies as assault.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Like sexual intent or just like
Right?
borderline sexual assault.
and all this behavior is encouraged by Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
Oh, because the guys have to be strong and prepared, and
Now
his
this-
like speeches are ridiculous.
Yeah, he says a lot of stuff about that.
Yeah.
He's like the John Kreese equivalent in this.
Yeah.
So he's like the kind of like the Cobra
Former
Kai.
military.
Yeah.
But I mean, Kreese was just a hard ass. This guy's, I mean, Kreese was a little bit like, you know, I want to hurt people for no reason, but only in certain instances. Ironside character and the kids the whole time were just like, we want to maim somebody. Let's injure somebody. Let's rape someone. Where can we commit an assault today?
Where can we
Like,
finish them?
Right? Finish them.
Yeah, kill her.
He's like Shang Tsung.
Just no fucking chill from Michael Ironside.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know what to say about Alpha Elite. They'll come back, but yeah. So one of the Alpha Elites is actually a good guy, though. His name's Eric.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really like their rapey ways, I guess, and decides to like get out of there. But he becomes friends with Julie is the main thing. And they eventually start dating.
They bond over trains and the Hawk. Because you find out Eric's like a train yard security guard.
Yeah, that's right. Now, and Eric is also like a 35-year-old man.
Yeah,
He's definitely been held back a few times.
He has a full-time job outside of being in high school.
Like, it's a weird one, man.
But what does he drive? He has a nice car, right?
He's got an Oldsmobile 442. That name was used more than once, but his was the first generation. It was built between the late 60s and the early 70s. And yeah, those are really cool cars. I mean, it's a classic in general. They're worth quite a bit of money. And
this high school kid has one?
Yeah, well, that's the weird thing. I mean, it wouldn't be that unusual to see a high school kid necessarily have a really beat up one, but the one he's got is pristine. I mean, this
like
was
showroom kind of.
Yeah, I mean, this was from '94, so the dollar amounts wouldn't be the same. But a 442 in that condition today, I mean, people can watch like the Mecum or the Barrett Jackson auctions and see for themselves. In that condition today, that car would easily be worth $50,000-$60,000, and it's just unless he inherited it. Maybe it was a car like his grandfather bought new and it's just stayed in the family. But otherwise, if he's working a part-time job because his single mother can't pay the bills, like, where did you end up with this car?
Yeah, just sell your fucking car.
Yeah, sell the car. You can finance your mom for a year. Like, you know.
Well, they don't explain it, so we just basically have to make up stuff. So this is canon now.
He's got a sweet car.
Yeah.
So there's one point where Julie is like whining and Mr. Miyagi's like trying to help her, but she like runs into the street. And she almost gets hit by a car, right?
Yes.
But she doesn't get hit because she like jumps up onto the car's hood like Robin Williams style in Jumanji.
She does the tiger pose, as
Tiger
Mr. Miyagi
jump.
calls it.
Right, and he's like, "Where did you learn that?" And she's like, "I know karate. My dad taught me when I was a kid." So here's the continuity flaw. So she knows karate because her dad taught her karate, because her grandpa taught her dad. Now, Miyagi taught her grandpa. But in The Karate Kid, Miyagi says, I've never taught anyone karate before.
Yeah, that's true.
To Daniel-san. But maybe that was just like his way of being like, you know, this is my first time. I don't know. Like, because, you know.
I've never done anything like this before, Daniel-san.
This is a way to reel him in, you know? Karate instructors are always doing that.
Come see the puppies I'm keeping in this van.
Yeah, but he didn't tell that to Julie. He didn't lure her in. Well, because I guess
she's a girl.
No, because the audience would see right through his bullshit.
Right.
We've seen the other movies, man. We know it's not true. All right, so Julie convinces Miyagi to teach her karate, right? Hence the title, The Next Karate Kid.
Finally, it's like fucking 40 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, well, but then the movie proceeds to have almost no karate throughout the remainder of it. So
yeah, we're far in and there's still no karate.
He tries to do the typical thing, you know, in the Karate Kid, the classic trope, wax on, wax off.
Right.
But she's like, fuck this. You don't know anything about women. Man, like storms off the screen. And Miyagi's like, what am I going to do? How do I reach these kids?
How do I reach these kids?
Yeah, I was getting a very Nomi vibe.
Oh,
where
yeah.
She's just pissed off and like just
storms out a lot.
Yeah, and she just always has like that scowl. Like, just mad at everyone. Like, oh, here we go again.
Well, if, you know, karate doesn't work out, you could always be a dancer in Vegas.
A very angry stripper in a very sleazy, poorly put together topless review featuring a volcano. And Gina Gershon.
So she does get a little bit of a different method for her first karate training, babysitting. Alan, what can you tell us about that scene?
Oh, this scene. Where she first asks Miyagi to borrow money to go to the mall. But Miyagi's response is, oh, you don't need to borrow money because I already set you up for this job without telling you.
How would she have paid him back anyway? She would have waited till her grandmother was back and been like, by the way, you owe Mr. Miyagi money.
So Mr. Miyagi says there's a house down the street where they have 3 kids that need a babysitter. So she goes over there and it's, I think you mentioned it's like a 90s montage. Where they're just like shooting her with Nerf guns and there's like balls flying everywhere and these kids are out of control. And she has
There's
to, like,
balls
flying everywhere, I know.
Not that kind of movie.
Well, okay, Nerf balls are...
I mean, in
like
my
foam
fantasies
balls.
at the time, but yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Put it away, Steve.
No.
So, yeah, you're right. They're just like throwing soccer balls at her face and like fucking shooting her with Nerf guns and
they're just out of control, so she's like all stressed out and she has to like round them up.
But within the matter of like, you know, the 1 minute montage, she like turns it around and she's like, well, what if I just fucking throw a football back at them? Got him.
I'm going to play with these kids by their own rules.
Yeah.
Like fire with fire.
If you can't beat them, join them. That's her first lesson in karate training.
Babysitting, sometime good exercise for karate student, Julius, huh?
And that's supposed to be like exercise, or it's supposed to be like her training
Yeah.
or a part of it, which is ridiculous.
Just go to the gym. Do anything. I don't know. Run.
I don't feel like babysitting my younger cousins really helps me with my martial arts, but I don't know.
Come out of a
weren't
babysitting job,
back
you can
then.
kick anyone's ass.
You see those 3 kids I had to deal with? I can take on anyone.
Look, my aunt was super angry and my cousin was covered in bruises, but I learned some karate.
I think we both learned something that day.
Right? Like what juvenile hall looks like.
And they never show her getting paid or anything. She just kind of like finishes it in like a minute. And she's like, oh, thanks, or those.
She's like, I now kind of
says.
accept you,
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi. I understand your ways.
Oh, you've made me babysit. Now I get you.
So they start to develop this understanding, you know? Because at first they were adversaries, and he didn't know how to reach her. But now he does.
He's humbling her. He's like, look, you have to learn hard work by babysitting.
But she still has the bird to deal with, which is at the school. So she sneaks out in the middle of the night to go feed it. But Alpha Elite is there waiting. Presumably they have been waiting there every night, and she's finally there to show up.
I mean, I don't want to harp on it because people are going to get the impression it's just where my mind's going, and I'm some kind of sick fuck. But seriously, that whole thing was like they're going to gang rape her,
Well, yeah, that
Like,
was exactly what that was.
right?
It was way fucked
like
up.
it was really that was not cool, man. For a movie that's supposed to be aimed at like preteens, it's like that's very, very.
Like 5 buff dudes
It was either
chasing
that
her.
or they were there to kick her ass. Either
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
it's fucked up.
You're right. I'll give you that. Yeah, it was definitely one of those two. And in either case, it's like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be an 18-year-old girl. We're gonna watch a bunch of teenage guys beat the shit out of her.
I'll say
And then
this.
probably rape her or possibly.
Yeah.
As a little kid, though, I didn't really get that, but
No, it's
obviously
true.
I didn't understand, you know, as a little
Right.
kid. My mind wouldn't go there. You're a kid, you don't know about such things, but
Yeah.
No, that's definitely the case. Like at 11, it didn't seem to me. It didn't occur to me that was what it seemed so
Like-
much like. But
These aren't 11-year-olds directing or making this movie, man.
right.
It's like, come on. Everyone's like, whoa. let's
I don't.
cut
They,
it back a
they
little.
never really clearly state what they want from her, other than to date her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. The one has already been after her. I mean, and again, like, made it very clear he's not interested in dating. He just wants to hump. And he's physically assaulted her before and threatened her with expulsion if she doesn't give in to what he wants. And now he's got his cronies and they're chasing her around
Yeah.
in the dark at school. Like, what
Like,
the
it's
fuck is going to happen here?
Clear he's trying to get her by force.
Right.
So, which is like fucked up.
All right, so this is what happens. The cops show up because she hits the fire alarm while she's running from these guys, which goes on for a long time.
Yeah.
And she gets in trouble. They don't get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently the Michael Ironside character can just smooth everything out, and he's with the cops when they show up to bust her.
So they kind of frame her like, oh, she's the troublemaker.
Yeah.
There's an earlier scene.
Like, what are they
where-
doing there? What's their alibi? Like, oh, we just guard the school at night?
You know, so
At
she'd broken into the school once before earlier in the movie, and the cops had been called, but she'd gotten away. And I think the implication there's supposed to be, I'm guessing a little bit, but like they're now guarding the school at night, waiting to prove that she's the one who's been breaking in. So it was cool for them to be there.
I guess.
There was
Yeah.
also the earlier scene where the head guy, Ned, said she was smoking cigarettes and she got in trouble for that. So they already established like they just kind of blame her for
Yeah,
shit.
but he set her up. And
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So yeah, they can just blame her for shit. Like they don't get in trouble.
Anyway, she's fucking in trouble. She's suspended for 2 weeks. Miyagi's like, all right, we're going to make some good use of this 2 weeks we got. We're going to China.
No, though.
No. They go on a road trip, though.
Yes.
So they take a little road trip. They stop somewhere in Redneck Town where they're confronted by rednecks in a very redneck way.
What the hell you think you're doing? Huh? Look at my dog. You turned him into a damn chicken.
Sometimes animals have more sense than human.
Yeah? Well, you watch your mouth, old man.
Come on, let's just get out of here.
You ain't going nowhere until I say so.
Hey, let girl go.
Watch it, Ted. What are you gonna do, old man? You gonna fight?
Fighting not good.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
they,
this is...
they stop to get gas, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Chocolate almond bars.
Yeah, this is one of those fake out movies where it turns into they all have eyes. So, yeah.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Right.
No, they stop to get gas, and these guys are like, what are you doing around this park, boy? You want to
Oh
fight?
yeah, with the dog.
The one redneck gets mad at him because Mr. Miyagi made his dog calm.
Yeah, the
I
dog's
turned
like
my dog
freaking out,
into
and
a
Mr.
chicken.
Miyagi pets it.
Yeah, he's got this like 90-pound Doberman hanging out in the gas station that gets real aggressive with people. Like I grew up with Dobermans, I can appreciate how frightening that is in person. Mine were well-behaved dogs, but like, so Miyagi comes and calms the dog down so that it doesn't attack Julie, and the redneck's response is like, "Oh, why'd you calm my dog down? Now
He's
it's
like
a pussy."
Super offended.
Like what?
You turned my dog into a liberal pussy.
Yeah, right.
And this is like what the first bit of actual like action or karate you see.
Yeah, there's a little bit of karate. They try to. I mean, it's typical Karate Kid, horribly choreographed. But what are you gonna do? They try to attack Miyagi. Miyagi kicks their asses,
Yeah.
regretfully.
He like spins them, he catches their punch, he like flips them around, he just totally fucks them up.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about Miyagi for a sec. He's really like the highlight of all these movies. At least, the ones that he's in.
Oh yeah.
Pat Morita's great. I think he's really perfect for this role, and it's so much so that you can just set aside the bad choreography. Because
he's
obviously
great.
the guy can't move very fast or anything.
No.
But he's a karate master, so he doesn't need to.
And it's interesting, a lot of the movement he employs, I mean, the scene happens to be on the TV behind us right now. A lot of the movement he employs looks to me a lot more like jiu-jitsu than karate, which would fit that. I mean, it's not nearly as strike heavy, and you don't have to be able to move as much. You leverage someone else's weight against theirs. It makes sense for an older person to be using those techniques because you don't have to be the stronger of the two to beat the other guy using them. But
A lot of the moves is like their momentum, or like their weight. So he like moves to the other side, or he shifts them around, or like he flips them when they punch. Or
Right.
It's not him like being more.
I feel like in the 80s and 90s, all martial arts were just karate.
yeah, they kind of just blended it all together, and you're right, it's all karate, because like Kyokushin, which is like the main form of karate, that shit's violent. Like, I mean, really, it's meant to just kill the other person, basically. So I don't know.
Maybe that's what the alpha elite guys are being taught.
Right. Yeah.
Michael
I
Iron.
mean, I know someone who's a really serious practitioner of that, and he's come back from tournaments and stuff with broken knuckles, and it gets crazy.
Dang.
Like, yeah.
All right, so we're on our road trip. They have that gas station stop, but after that, they go to like a Buddhist monastery.
It's somewhere like in rural Massachusetts. I mean, I guess you figure there would have to be Buddhists living in Massachusetts. It just seems like a weird setting for a Buddhist monastery.
I agree. I don't know Massachusetts well enough to know if that's even geographically
And
possible.
they
Yeah.
never say where it is or how far they traveled or anything specific. They just kind of show like the shots of the car driving down the road, and they're on their road trip, and then they're just kind of there wherever it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
It
that
doesn't
works.
even look like really it was built to be a Buddhist institution. It looks more like it was built for like Catholic monks, and that Buddhist people just happen to be occupying
They
it
just
now.
karateed them the fuck out.
Right?
The Great Karate Wars of 1812.
Oh yeah, the Salem karate trials.
Those were good times.
Right?
So they have to live at this Buddhist monastery for like 2 weeks while she's suspended, and all sorts of hijinks ensue.
Yeah, what's some of her training consist of, Alan?
So the first one, Mr. Miyagi makes some kind of weird reference to Okinawa, the island he was born. Well, no, they go to the rock garden, and he starts talking about Okinawa, and like this one little rock is the island, and there's a bigger rock, and she has to do some kind of spinning jump kick off the bigger rock and land on the smaller one. But she can't do it, and she says it's impossible. But Mr. Miyagi tells her to keep trying, and she has to learn like this one kick move.
This is like him teaching Daniel to stand one-footed on the posts by the beach when they're in Okinawa. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the specialty move. And,
Right.
And like in Karate Kid 2, there's another one with like the drum technique.
Oh,
or
that's
whatever.
right. And he had the crane kick in the first one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You gotta have the special move, you know?
The fatality move. Finish him.
So she does that little kick. She also fights some sandbags like Elektra from Daredevil.
Oh, yeah, because she has to like hone her senses.
No, she also has to... She loses the respect of the monks. Steve, can you tell us about what happens there?
During dinner one night, a cockroach crawls its way across the table on which they're eating, and she moves to squash it with her shoe. Excuse me, being unaware that Buddhism is strictly a non-violent religion. The whole idea is that any act of aggression or violence whatsoever against any other living thing, even if it's a bug, causes negativity and negative ramifications. And so if you're like a serious practicing Buddhist, you just don't kill things. And the bug gets swiped away before she has a chance to smash it. But they're all very upset at her at the act of aggression. And then when she asks Miyagi what it is she's done wrong, she has some real snide comment for him. What does she say? She gets kind of offensive.
She's like, "That's a stupid rule."
Yeah. She's something to that effect. Like, you're in their house. Like, why would you say? I mean, you're talking to someone who is a Buddhist who's been helping you. Like, why would you be so insulting about it? But okay,
because she's an unruly teenager and she still hasn't learned.
But she wins their respect later. Alan, how?
Oh,
stupid.
She's in a field and she's acting like she's never seen flowers before. She's just kind of wandering through a field like dumbfounded.
City folk.
Yeah.
Gaijin.
Like, oh, look at all these flowers. This is crazy. And she happens to come across a mantis on one, which she scoops up and is actually able to like hold or capture. And then there's a scene where she's super ecstatic. So she runs back to the monastery with this mantis she got. And she hands it to one of the monks. And she's like, look, she's like, here's a mantis. And then he puts it back on the tree. And it's supposed to signify like her redemption or how she's learned. She gave him a mantis and he's like, good. And everything's fine
like,
now.
I took a different bug off a plant out there where it belongs and brought it to you.
Good.
Like, okay. Why don't you go put it back where you found it?
That's what the monk does. He just puts it back on the tree.
You were one of us now.
Right? Yes. You've recognized how to move bugs from place to place. Yes.
one bug.
One bug. A bug. One at a time if it's a mantis. And it happens to be friendly enough to get in your hand when you want it to.
Like, you didn't kill it. You understand now.
Right. Thank you for not going out into the world and randomly killing things.
There's another point where they're doing like training where she's actually practicing on her own and she brings like a 90s boombox.
Oh, yeah.
And she starts like doing her karate to the Cranberries. And the monks all come in and you think they're going to be all like in disapproval, but they start dancing.
Cranroddy.
To the Babysitter Club soundtrack.
Right?
Yeah. Or the trailer.
That classic Cranberry song, yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. But yeah, I mean, why would they? That didn't really make sense to me either. Like, why would they be disapproving? The music we were listening to wasn't like offensive. It wasn't like gangster rap. Like, why would they be so disapproving of it?
Yeah, they're big fans.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, probably not. They're big fans, but you know, like
No, they are big fans.
Apparently, they are. Yeah.
It's the whole like modern culture. Her teenager clashing with the Buddhist.
Yeah, the culture clash.
Oh,
man.
but they're actually cool.
Yeah, you don't understand. We're from different worlds.
Yeah, I can't remember
the whole
their
thing
names.
with this movie.
I wish I could. I even checked IMDb. I can't find two of them. Two of the guys that played the monks were in a bunch of other stuff, and I can't place what, and I can't find them on. It's driving me crazy.
I'm pretty sure one of them was in Surf Ninjas.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of. I'm not saying it's be shitty, but the kind of overweight one with the glasses.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, right?
Steve, get the fuck... get out of here,
He's
bro.
been in a bunch of other stuff. And the tall, skinny one who's the leader of the group, the head of the monastery.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him and stuff.
And and I know he's been in big stuff, like big title films. Not necessarily in lead roles, but he's been in them, and I can't place what it is.
Sounds kind of shitty, but it's probably just because he's Asian. They need like the generic.
Oh, they all
Asian
look
guy.
the same, Alan says. Write some
I'm
angry
just
letters,
saying.
everybody.
Come on.
Right?
Has he played a different role? He probably played the same role in those other movies.
No, it is true. They tend to cast Asian actors to play every kind of Asian. I'm pretty sure Pat Morita played Koreans and other types of Asian people.
Yeah,
over the
there
course
is
of his
kind
career.
of like an issue with that and the whole whitewashing thing.
It's
which
true.
Really got kind of crazy with the Ghost in the Shell remake. People got really vocal about it.
That
But
would
it is a
upset
problem.
me.
Yeah, I mean, there are not a lot of Asian people that are cast in big movies.
Right. I mean, especially when the part was written, the part you're basing it on was written for an Asian character. Like, why did you feel the need to change that? It seems really weird.
I know Steve hates it, But I will defend The Last Samurai.
No, that's one of the most egregious examples of Hollywood being racist toward Asians. I'm sorry. Like, it's true.
That movie's good.
Like, it's not a badly made movie, but, like, it's so ridiculous. This drunken, middle-aged, war-wounded soldier shows up in Japan, and within 6 weeks, he's better with a sword than people have been training at it since they were 3. It makes no fucking
Hilary
sense.
Swank knows karate
It's like,
now?
the white guy's brilliant. Like, he just got it faster than everybody. Like, no.
I mean, there's so many examples of that trope, the white savior thing with like Avatar and Dances with Wolves and the Pocahontas and Fern Gully. I mean, there's just so many examples.
Fern Gully. God, I haven't thought about that movie in a long time. Yeah.
I fucking hate that trope in movies, though. That
true.
really generic story of like, I like The Last. I'm with Alan. I think it's a good movie.
No, it actually is a good movie. I will fully admit it was a well-made movie, but that part of it is fucking stupid.
Yeah, like when you look at the story like that, it's dumb.
And I can remember a year or two after it coming out, I keep in contact with a man who was my Japanese language teacher for 2 years in middle school. He's a really nice guy. And I can remember him having an objection basically at the same point. Like, this guy shows up and he's a master, and it's kind of insulting. But, like, yeah.
Well, he's not better than Ken.
Ken Watanabe's character?
Yeah.
No, thank God. Nobody's better than Ken Watanabe, though. That dude,
he was still the best one.
Yeah, he can kick everybody's ass.
Ken Watanabe's a gangster, dude.
Yeah, I noticed when we have, like, the shittier the movie, the more tangents we go on.
Yeah, we have not talked a lot about the movie we really watched today.
Ken Watanabe is also in Tokyo Drift.
Oh, yeah.
Just had to throw that out there.
So who did they get to cast the Mafia? Does it Sonny Chiba? Sonny
That's
famous.
Sonny Chiba, you're right.
Yeah, Sonny Chiba
right,
plays
right.
the Mafia boss,
You're
and
right.
yeah, he's awesome.
He's
Fucking
awesome,
talk
too.
about actual bad. That guy's actually a badass. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Street Fighter? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Movies are fucking awesome.
Yeah, the Street
Anyways.
Fighter film. Not the game ones, but, you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. All right, so Julie has her little trip. She's training, whatever. She comes back to high school. She goes back to 90s high school land, where Alpha Elite, they are just pissed. They take one look at her. They're like, she's back, and they're just fucking fuming.
I loved that scene. When she first gets back to school, like you just said, they show a shot where she comes back in the cafeteria, and they're all sitting at the one table, and the one guy, his face, like he even like says it. He's like, "Oh, look who's back!" Like he's just pissed just to see her. Like they're just so mad.
The leader of that group
This
looks
fucking chick I want to be my girlfriend is back.
Yeah, like they're ready to kill her. Like, they're so
I'll
mad.
kill her.
that one kid who's the leader of the group is the one who's been harassing her. Looks to me like Michael Richards' son. I mean, they're not related at all, but I swear I kept thinking Junior Kramer the whole movie. I expected him to ask for food out of Jerry's fridge or something. Like,
Wouldn't that be funny if he came in just acting like Kramer?
right?
Karate killed Seinfeld.
Right. Like, they could cast that dude to play Michael Richards' son in something and it'd work. Like,
He could just play him in a biopic.
Yeah.
we should watch VHF. Let's talk about that movie. Or UHF.
I know, I like VHF, the sequel.
Well, VHF is the other broadcasting spectrum, so that is a thing. But
So she's back at school. Alpha Elite's pissed.
Yeah, they got the bird taken away.
They did.
Animal control. But, I mean, it's like no hindrance to her at all. She just goes to animal control and picks it up.
yeah, hi, I'm an 18-year-old girl and I'd like to pick this injured hawk up. Oh, okay, sure, here you go.
All right.
She was with
Take
Mr.
it.
Miyagi. He probably used some kind of
Karate magic.
Secret. Yeah.
No, I just imagine, you don't remember the biker in Terminator 2?
Take it. Oh, yeah.
They just did that with the bird.
So frightened. Can you take it? Throws a
Mr.
bird
Miyagi-
at her.
Yeah.
Does that guy know karate? Just take the bird.
And why is the bird so docile? Like, it's obviously a trained hawk.
It is.
Like,
It's very trained.
right? Like, it's used to being with people. A wild hawk, predatory bird like that, does not want to be handled by people. It'll fuck you
It's
up.
like impossible.
A grown one, yeah.
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 For sure.
It'll like claw your eyes out.
Right? Yeah, I mean, those things can pick up a rabbit. Like, they don't want to mess with
Those
you.
talons are sharp as fuck, too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know. I've studied bird law.
Okay, Charlie.
So next beat, I guess, is that Julie's going to go to the prom with Eric.
Yeah, there's been no talk about this before now, but suddenly they're going to prom.
Yeah, they spring it on you pretty suddenly. She's like, Eric asked me to the prom. Because it doesn't happen on screen.
Right.
We forgot to shoot that scene.
Right? They haven't even talked about the prom being a thing prior to that
There's,
scene.
like, no
and then all of a sudden
posters
it's like,
or
oh,
anything.
yes. Like, oh, all right.
Because they have such strong feelings for each other. They don't even need to ask. It's just assumed.
By the way, here's a part of the story we forgot to film. Whatever.
So they're going to go to prom, but Julie's concerned because she doesn't know how to waltz. How can you go to a prom if you don't know how to waltz?
To the Cranberries?
To the Cranberries.
Yeah, I mean, senior high school proms are frequently a lot like major, political balls where people wear gowns and do waltzes to classical music.
It's like an old timey, like they're wearing powdered wigs.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys, I don't know if you went or not, but they played a lot of Bach and Beethoven at my senior prom. A lot of waltzes were in there, so definitely that's apt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just play whatever's like on the radio. Like the top 20 hits or whatever.
You know what they play at every high school senior prom? Like the 20 songs that are most popular amongst 17 and 18-year-olds right now. Like, that's what gets played at a prom.
I don't know what kids listen to. Jay-Z? I don't know.
Right, what are kids like? Is Three Doors Down still a band?
I think you're talking about
Kryptonite song.
I think you're talking about Cardi B.
Oh, Cardi B, that's probably true. And
I don't know who else is on there now.
that chick who did the song about It's All About the Bass. What's her name? She's obnoxious.
Damn kids and their music.
If you're a kid that listens to music and you're listening to this on YouTube, comment what you listen to. We don't know. We're old and we're out of touch.
No, I listen to a
Green Day?
tremendous...
You guys like Green Day?
I listen to a tremendous amount of music, but I think very little of what I'm listening to would have any overlap. I've had a couple of instances where I was surprised where a few people 10, 12 years younger than me. So, no, I like them too, but I don't know.
I know. Post Malone. He's pretty popular.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that's right. Post Malone.
Post Malone's popular right now, yeah. I mean, if you went over a list, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know all those people. But when I'm trying to think of what a 17-year-old right now would be listening to, for some reason I can't think of their names. Like, whatever.
Who cares?
Who cares?
So they're going to a prom.
Talk to me when you're 25.
And Mr. Miyagi teaches her how to waltz in the form of karate. So there's some karate dancing. It's pretty good. It's kind of like karate laundry, but it's a different mundane thing you have to do.
Equally useful.
That actually took me a couple minutes to pick up. Because he's like, oh, we're going to practice karate inside the house. And he's like showing her how to punch. And I was like, are they really like doing this? And it actually did trick me.
It turned into a dance, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, Mr. Miyagi and your ways. That Miyagi,
And at the end of the waltz, you use a wrist lock. That's the way you do it.
Oh, we skipped over the dress he got for the old man in the dress shop.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about it.
So Mr. Miyagi has the idea to buy her a dress for the prom. So there's a whole scene where he goes into a dress shop, and it's just Mr. Miyagi just looking to buy a dress.
May I help you, sir?
Oh, yes. Want to buy dress. Formal dance, very important.
Of course. Well, as you see, we have all sorts of styles. Do you like an A-line, or do you like a T-length? Or do you like off the shoulder?
Oh, Miyagi like everything. But dress not for me. Dress for teenage girl.
Of course. Well, what kind of a girl is she? Is she trendy or conservative? Oh, we can do a silk chemise or a crepe de chine.
Girl have good spinning back kick, but need work on sword hand block.
Yes, that's very helpful. Is she tall?
And the associate alumni that helps him is like asking him questions, but the answers like aren't helpful.
Because he doesn't know, because she's just a girl and they're from different worlds, man. You know,
she's not tall, but she's not short, and she's not slim, she's slender, and he gives like these like vague answers. This fucking old guy looking for a dress.
But somehow he does get a dress that fits perfectly, so
Perfectly.
I guess we
First
can't
try.
talk too much shit.
Right?
Because that's his ways, dude. Mr. Miyagi knows how to do things. He just gets shit done.
You ever
does.
tried buying surprise clothing for a girlfriend? It almost never works out. Like,
I know better than to
yeah,
get close
exactly.
to my wife.
But
Right?
Mr. Miyagi knows how to do it. So he does.
Situation handled.
So she knows how to dance, thanks to Mr. Miyagi. She has a dress, thanks to Mr. Miyagi. She knows karate now. And she's supposed to be like super... Not super. She's like better. She's like not as angry now.
it's another...
She's like the next Karate Kid.
Right? There's been very little karate. There's another one of these tropes, though. It's like she's had like 5 lessons over a period of 3 weeks doing mostly things that are unrelated to karate, and all of a sudden she knows karate.
Including babysitting.
Yeah.
Well, she always knew karate.
Oh,
Remember
true.
her dad taught her when she was
a
a kid.
black belt before. 'cause
She's just recapping.
She knew how to do the tiger jump, so we're covered.
Now that you mention that again, even though that was mentioned earlier, she never demonstrates that. Or like
At all.
There's no information on what she trained before, other than that her dad showed her.
Yeah, I mean, it
karate.
mostly sounds like she was 4 or 5 and her dad had her do like jumping exercises in their living room.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, we got Eric and Julie going to prom. Now, before we get to prom, I think there's a pretty funny part where they're driving to prom. Which one of you guys wants to touch on that?
What happens there? When
I don't even remember what we're talking about. I've been thinking of too many other
driving
movies.
Oh, yeah. They're driving there, and Eric's like, "Oh, he's like, you look good," and the way he says it is like so sleazy. He's
Oh,
kinda
yeah.
like, "Oh, you look good."
It's your typical driving shot
he's
where it's from the
scared.
front, so it's just showing them sitting next to each other in the car, but he's not looking at the road
He's
at
the
all.
whole time staring at her chest.
Yeah, he's literally just staring at her chest the whole time.
He's like salivating over her. He's like, "Oh yeah."
That's another one. Like in real life, you can't get away with doing things. Like if you did that with a chick in your car in real life, that date's over. Like, I mean, unless you've been dating, it's another thing. You're dating for a long time and you're being, funny with each other. That's one thing.
Right.
But like, if it's a first date and you don't really know each other, and you're going to the prom and the guy is like, "Oh, your breasts look fantastic. You're dressed you wear that dress across your chest really well." It's gonna be like, "No, we're
baby."
done. We're done."
and he almost kills her, so he's like,
Right.
fucking sexualizing her, and they almost crashes.
because she ends up driving in the wrong direction on a one-way road because of his
Because he's so busy like staring at her.
yeah. So they almost die on the way there.
It's a great way to start your prom evening, although it ends worse than it began. So I guess whatever.
It does because, and this is my favorite part of the whole movie. There's not a lot to really get happy about or excited about in this movie because it's so fucking boring. But when they get to prom, they're dancing, they're schmoozing, whatever. They're having a little romantic time, and then all of a sudden, someone goes, "What's that?" And they look up at the rafters in the big room they're in, which I assume is like a gym.
Yeah, it was like the gym.
And there's 3 guys up there who are members of Alpha Elite that are bungee jumping. They're bungee jumping from the rafters of this building down to where people are dancing.
And the shot, it shows them kind of just like fall back, like they're like some kind of like coordinated like jumping, It's like the military thing where they like rappel down, but they're all like coordinated. They just kind of fall back off the bungee jump.
And one guy crashes into some kind of structure.
Yeah, that was unexpected. I was like, what's the point of that? Like, why did he fall into that?
You guys are going to get bored of this question because I ask it a lot, sometimes multiple times per podcast. But I have to ask this question. Why did that happen? What were they doing?
That is exactly my point. It's so out of place and meaningless. And like, what human being would actually make the decision to do that?
Right? Like, why were 3 teenagers bungee jumping from the roof of their gym into their prom? It just, I want to know what the purpose of it was.
There's
and they
no
never,
answer to this.
Right? They never even suggest, like, here's why. The closest thing you get was like, well, the teacher said it would be okay. Fucking why? What teacher said that was okay? For what purpose?
He should be fired like immediately.
Right? It's bad enough the parents don't seem to care. This guy's running like a psychotic assault squad in his school. Like now he's got kids bungee jumping from the roof of the gym.
How did they get up there? How did no one notice before?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
why
true.
was-
How long
what's
have
the
they been
purpose of
crouching
it?
up there waiting to jump down?
They waited
Holy
for the right
shit.
song.
Right? They were waiting for the cranberries. It never happened.
Standing up there for like an hour, just fucking getting tired. Like, can we do this now?
And then one of the guys gets hurt really bad. That's bungee jumping because he crashes. And then
That's what you get for bungee jumping off your fucking.
our guy
rafters.
Eric, who's the boyfriend, like helps him up and says to the main guy Ned, he's like, your friend here broke his arm. Nice going. Like, what are you guys doing? And the guy's only response is, well, at least he was brave enough to do it.
Like what? No, the group of you are deranged. You're a moron. You never should have done this. Like,
Yeah,
no.
it's so dumb. Like, I was so shocked by that scene, just like you said. Like, it doesn't fit in the movie. It has no purpose. It's weird.
But it's kind of the best part of the movie.
It is.
Like, why is that in
It's
there?
so non sequitur, makes absolutely no sense at all. It's for no purpose, and yet you're right. It's like the best moment in the film, partly because like it's the part that confuses me the most.
I thought,
And something happens.
And something happens.
That's
it's true.
nice.
Right? There's a little
I
action.
thought when they jumped in, they were gonna like attack him or like assault him.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was the only point I could think of is why they would like do the coordinated jump in, like
an
assault
attack?
this guy. Yeah, like an attack. But then they didn't, so there was no reason for that. It was so dumb.
You gotta train these kids, man.
Julie and Eric, they're like, okay, well, this prom is weird. We're gonna get out of here. And they leave early. But the guys just start following them, and they're like, "You guys want to fucking fight or something?" And they're like, "No, we just want to go home. So why do you bother us so much?" So they drive home to Julie's place, but the guys followed them in a Jeep, and they take out baseball bats and they just start smashing out this dude's windows.
That part was like way psychotic. Like you just start smashing his windows.
Like why? They're not even doing anything to you. Like they don't even care. They're not friends with you. They don't even want to talk to you. Like why are you fucking with these people?
Smashing his windows with a bat.
Like they're all orchestrating this psychotic stalking just because she won't date their leader. It's weird.
Just date someone else. It's fine.
Yeah, there's other girls at the school, man.
He's the alpha elite jock. You get like the hottest chick there.
Hilary Swank.
Oh yeah, she's the hottest one. Yeah. Yeah, he could just go get anyone.
There's no Phoebe Cates at the school. You got to settle for Hilary Swank.
Phoebe Cates and Hilary Swank in the same room would have been great for me.
Oh, here we go.
Good thing you're not driving, Steve.
Right? I'm all kinds of messed up.
So, because they smash out his windows, the dude's obviously pissed. They say, meet us at the docks. So Eric, without Julie, he drops Julie off at home. He drives down to the docks to go fight Ned one-on-one.
This is the final showdown.
Well, this is sort of. This is one of the final showdowns.
Yeah, it's the multi-part final showdown.
There's several final showdowns that happen here.
Ned actually mentions the docks like throughout, up until this scene. He mentioned like 3 or 4 times.
This guy loves the docks.
Right, he kept saying like, come to the docks.
The first time he said it was to Julie while he was assaulting her, and the implication was that's where I go to have sex. And it's like, it also happens to be where I go to fight. Like,
Ned likes the docks.
I basically get all of my like primal needs out at the docks.
Fucking and fighting.
Right? That's basically all I'm good for, those 2 things.
At the dock.
Look, I have an IQ of 90 and it's everyone else's problem. Like,
You're right. This guy's fucking obsessed with the docks.
he is. He's dock
like
obsessed.
a fucking like 1920s like mafia guy. Meet us down at the docks.
I got a pair of cement shoes for you.
You'd be sleeping with the fishes. They'll take you down to the docks.
Oh man, you remember that part in Dick Tracy where they put the guy in the box and fill it full of cement? That was awesome.
That's cool. They took that dude to the docks.
They did. They dropped him.
Well, Ned likes the docks so much because, as we'll find out, apparently there's no security. There's nobody there. There's nobody watching. There's no workers.
Yeah.
It's just a lawless fucking area.
It's like a commercial port in the suburbs or near the suburbs of a major metropolitan American city, and apparently you can just blow a car up there and no one shows up.
It's just the fucking like Mos Eisley with less people.
Yeah, right. So you can Molotov a car and no one will show up to
which
respond.
they do.
Yeah,
they blow up his beautiful car. What is it again?
It's an Oldsmobile 442.
That's right.
Yeah,
so
really nice.
Ned
car.
goes down there because he's gonna finish this, and then that's when they ambush him, and Michael Ironside's there.
Yeah, so he's like, "All right, Ned, it's me and you one-on-one." And they're like, "Fuck that, that's for pussies," and they just all jump him.
Yeah, it's like a gang jump. It's like a gang initiation.
Yeah, they thrash this guy.
The guy who called you out, and then you're the pussy for going 5-on-1 or whatever.
The dude's like barely like conscious and like gets his ass kicked. And then Michael Ironside with his fucking crazy ass shows up and he's like, "Finish it." Like what? You want us to kill him?
Like the implication.
He's like, "Yes.
Kill this guy?
Kill him now. Do it."
Basically mirroring every other sensei that's appeared in this franchise.
True.
Yeah.
But at least when it happens in Karate Kid 1 and 3 and Kreese is like finish it, it's like in a tournament. And I guess they just like they can't kill someone there in that environment.
Yeah, you mean just like knock him out or like.
But here at the Mos Eisley docks, anything goes.
Yeah, I got the implication like kill him. Like you're at the dog, you blew up his car.
You can just do whatever you want.
Michael Ironside is a fucking psycho. I don't know what he's teaching these kids. He's like just like attack people indiscriminately, like, and he's doing this at the high school. Everything he teaches them is at the school, and there's like people around, but like no one's like what is this weird fucking Nazi group over here doing? They have like armbands, like
fucking Antifa.
Dude, they are. They're like the Hitler Youth. It's really creepy.
they're all white.
Yeah.
So I thought it was some kind of racial thing.
It seems vaguely like it is. I mean, especially that one scene where he's with them in the yard and giving them all that like pump up speech earlier in the movie during one of their training sessions. Borderline. I really thought he was going to divulge into some kind of like white nationalist rant. It was really, really weird.
Now the enemy is in our country. It's inside our cities, in our schools.
It's like like the Proud Boys or all those like weird groups now.
Yeah.
Like the far right, like
Yeah,
guys or whatever they do.
Exactly. Somebody like that, where they're basically neo Nazis, but they don't wear swastikas, and
But
like
they just fight and do crazy shit.
right.
It's the same shit.
Yeah.
So whatever, Eric is done, but Miyagi and Julie show up.
Right.
The heroes have come to save the day. So for reasons I don't fully understand, Ned wants to fight Julie one-on-one.
Why?
This moment, he finally gets her to
What
the
kind of
dude.
fucking creep at any age is looking forward that much to fighting a 17-year-old girl?
Especially this dude who looks like he's 25.
Right.
Is super fucking buff.
Right?
And like
Clearly
all the other friends
trained.
are watching. Like all these other guys are gonna watch me beat up this girl.
I don't want to make.
Don't you like her?
Right? I mean, even I went to school with a lot of very apathetic people, but like if a group of us had seen a guy, like an 18-year-old guy threatening to physically really beat up a girl, there's no way no one would have done anything
I
about
would
it.
have been
That's
like, what the fuck?
And all his friends
Yeah.
are pretty much just cheering him on.
Right? That guy would have gotten his ass kicked. Seriously, that guy's he would even if it took 12 other people to jump him, that guy would have gotten his ass kicked just for doing that.
No, no one could beat
Like,
this guy's ass.
right.
Well, except for Julie, who does.
But they're all part of the same like military group clique or whatever it is.
The fight is pretty one-sided. Julie just makes short work of him.
Right.
But he has a trick up his sleeve.
Oh, the famous pocket sand.
Fuck fan.
He does the fucking Indiana Jones and the blood sport, the Three Ninja, everything. You know, where you throw the sand in their eyes.
She's blinded.
Fucking Rusty Shackleford shit.
Pocket sand.
Fucking fan.
Because he's losing the fight. You can't lose. So he has to fight dirty.
Like Snyder says, I never lose.
It is weird how similar that 3-minute chunk there, that fight is to the end of Bloodsport, though. It's weird.
It is, because once she's blinded, she remembers her training where she trained in blindfold.
Right.
Or she trained blindfolded.
Just like Van Damme.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, so she can still see or sense.
Exactly. So she just like sits there with her eyes closed, and he comes up and she blocks him and then kicks him in the head. Takes him out.
Well, if anyone deserved a kick in the head, it was that guy.
But at this point, the crew is kind of like, oh shit, maybe we're not invincible. Our best guy just got beat. Michael Ironside is telling all the other kids, you go fight her now, you go fight her.
Right.
And they're like, no, like Wally Goggins is one of them. He's like, nah, I don't want to really do this anymore. This is weird.
You go fight her, you
I think
psychopath.
I've grown out of this just now.
Right? Yeah, like, right this moment.
Like, this is weird now.
What have I become?
You just told us to kill her or to kill the other guy.
We blew up a really nice car.
Like, this got way too crazy, way too fast.
Look, think about it though. If they were so pissed at that guy, he has this nice car. Why don't I know this is gonna sound fucked up. Why don't they just steal it
Steal your car.
Oh, yeah.
instead of blow it up? I mean, there's no need to blow it up.
Right. Well,
Someone
why?
enjoy it.
They
I'm not advocating
Molotov.
car theft generally, but you know.
They could have
Right.
kicked the shit out of him and then taken the car, which they
Why
already
did
did
the
the
car
first
even
half.
need to be involved? Just beat him up. Have your fight. Leave the car out of it. Like,
And like that's like probably way serious, like arson and like
yeah. I mean, that's the
Personal
other thing.
destruction,
Like, you're
like,
gonna file a police
way fucked.
report. And like,
you guys
what-
blew up my car.
yeah.
Well, Michael Ironside is like, has some alibi when they say, we're going to call the cops. He's like, well, he was just not.
Oh yeah, it was racing or driving drunk or something.
No, yeah, they say like he was racing and then he crashed his car. It,
said
it
that
didn't
he got in an
crash though. It was just
accident.
blown up.
That's, yeah, exactly. Like if a car goes and bursts into flames, which by the way is way less likely than movies lead people to believe it is. Like there's a very slim chance in reality it's actually going to happen. But
The NOS.
right, they always. But like that they do a forensic investigation. It wouldn't even be much of a forensic investigation. They'd look at the car and they'd say, "Well, wait a second. There's no impact damage. It was just burned." So like this car was clearly not an accident. It was either set on fire or it caught fire. One of the two.
There's a trail of gasoline leading up to it.
Right?
Yeah,
It's got broken glass and from a Molotov cocktail like in it. So yeah.
We've already established there's no laws at the docks.
Yeah, you know, you're right. If it happened at the docks, it's, you know, that's what happens. You go to the police station, they're like, well, where did it happen? You're like, the docks. And I'm like, you know what? No, all bets are off.
It's
at the
outside
docks,
of our
sir.
jurisdiction.
Right?
Get out of here.
No one
kid.
goes down to the docks anymore.
So I'm sure you know everything's legal at the docks. Okay? And, you know, there's nothing we can do here.
Which I think Steve mentioned at this point, there's still no response from anybody. There's no workers, there's no police, there's no fire department. No one saw anything, no one called the police. There's just, all this is going down at the docks.
Huge explosion, nothing happens. It's, you know, it's like the Fast and the Furious. They could arrange that 3-block long street race in the middle of downtown. No one seems to care. So.
They got a 187 in Glendale.
Yeah,
Cops are all over it.
all 2,000 LAPD officers in the city are doing that one thing in Glendale.
It was a big 187, all right? Fucking Tom Cruise was shot.
Oh, you know, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, man. Don't question the Fast and the Furious logic. Not while we're right in the middle of this,
It's
okay?
airtight.
Yeah, we had enough logic to question here.
So next, Michael Ironside is like, all right, I'm going to fucking handle this myself, bitch. So he comes up to stop Miyagi from leaving, and Miyagi just kicks his ass.
Oh, yeah.
Just in the classic Miyagi style, you know, just like really slow movements, but still, it's fine. It's Miyagi. He's pretty cool. He like, you know, twists his arm and then kicks him in the chest and
Flips him around.
yeah, there's a flip around, and it's kind of like the beginning of the Karate Kid 2 when he fights Kreese because he's about to do the final strike, but he doesn't. He like instead of honking his nose, he like blows on him and he falls down.
You see, and that's one trope from those movies. It's amusing, but I never really understood. Is like the guys, you haven't knocked him out. All you did was blow wind in his face. Why did he pass out like that? He's like, oh, I was expecting a punch. Thank God.
The death breath.
The death breath. Yeah. Oh my God, he's got sushi breath.
Mr. Miyagi has ways you don't understand, Steve. You're not a karate master.
Mr. Miyagi is basically a fucking wizard, okay?
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Wizard breath.
Wizard Miyagi? I don't know where I went with that. Never mind. I don't know.
All right. So that's pretty much the end of it. It ends very suddenly after that. They leave. It shows a hawk in the sky. Credits.
It ends extremely suddenly. I was so surprised by that ending. There was no resolution. What happened to Eric and Julie? What happened to his car? What happened to Miyagi? What happened to Michael Ironside? Did anyone face any consequences?
Well, Michael Ironside, I think, like 2 years later, got the Starship Troopers role. So we know what happened to him.
Right, when fought some bugs.
Did they go back to school? Like, it just ends? Like, they won? Like, what happens from there? There was no ending to this movie.
I don't know. It's so weird and rushed. Like, this whole movie is weird.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like not like a movie. Like, it's missing some components of being like a full-fledged film.
know,
It's missing portions of what should be its arc. Yeah.
There you go.
Funny?
Yeah.
I kind of thought the same thing. I felt like every scene was just short where they didn't show, like, they didn't fully flesh out the scenes. It was a bunch of, like, almost incomplete scenes cut together.
It's like they filmed a movie with 3 complete acts and then cut a random 20 minutes out of it. It's like it still basically makes sense, but it's missing something.
Yeah,
Like,
it's missing an ending.
Yeah.
I mean, needless to say, this movie flopped horribly.
Yeah.
And it put the Karate Kid on hold for a long time.
Yeah, it was by far the lowest grossing of the 4 movies in the franchise that existed at the time.
Was this the last one until Jaden Smith?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was 16 years later. Yeah.
So Jaden Smith, how old was he in The Karate Kid? Was he even born when this one was out?
He would have been real little.
I don't know.
think he was alive, but because I think he was...
Barely. And then he's the next.
Well, actually, you know what? He may not have been on.
No, Hilary Swank is the next
Okay,
Karate
so
Kid.
with this, he's the new, not new. He's just the
He's
Karate Kid.
the Karate Kid, because that was a reboot.
Okay. So
Yeah,
there's
you
no
know what? In
title.
fact, he may not have been. I'd have to look it up, but I don't think he was more than 14 or 15 when they made that movie, and that came out in 2010, and this movie's from 94. So legitimately, he might not have been born when this movie got made.
So he's an actor playing the role of a movie he wasn't even born for the last one.
Well, especially if you consider that the first one came out in, what, 84?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in 83, and even I didn't see the new one as a new movie. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so it ends suddenly. Not good. Didn't
It just sort of ends.
Right.
To quote Dennis Reynolds.
Right. I love Dennis.
So, I have a question for you guys.
Here it is.
And there is a right answer.
Of course.
Who is the Jesus character in the next Karate Kid?
I know who it is.
Okay,
Go for it.
Hit me.
It's the bird, because the bird at the end comes back to life and it flies away. So
And it had a wound on its wings.
the bird was wounded and caged, but then he came back to life.
Like metaphorically came back to life.
Yeah,
Because it was injured.
but he could fly again.
Okay. Steve?
I'm trying to think based on what you did last time, like who had a beard. You know, like who could be? I mean, the hawk I think is a good answer. I mean, look, it spreads its wings. It's a little bit like Christ on the cross. But boy, I don't know. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say Julie because her old self died and her new self was born out of it, and that's sort of a resurrection,
So you guys are very close because I went with the resurrection arc as well.
right?
So based on that, though, I'd say that Ned, the main guy from the Alpha Elite Squad.
Oh yeah,
He was the Jesus
you know,
character.
he was my other choice of answer. I was almost right
I was
that
thinking
time.
that too.
Oh
I
man,
just said the bird.
I mean, if you think about it, from a certain perspective, he's the true hero of the film.
all right. Let's hear the argument for that.
No, I don't actually.
Okay.
No, you know, he was born again in a way that he was redeemed. I don't know.
Was he?
I really just thought only spend a few seconds thinking about this one. I was
Right.
like, I gotta find a way to make sure it's
I have
Ned.
nothing more
I mean,
after
look,
this.
it's your game. You get to say it's whoever you want. But
Actually,
like,
I'm gonna change my answer and say Alan's right. It was the Hawk.
oh, give it to Alan.
The hawk was also named Angel.
Oh my god.
So my three choices for that answer were the Hawk, Julie, and that dude, and I chose Julie, and your answer was the other two. So that's great.
I mean, the easy answer would have been Miyagi,
All right.
because you know he's like the pacifist, wise teacher.
Oh yeah, it's true.
But I figured one of you guys would say that and it'd be too easy.
Well, at no point does he turn water into wine.
No, at no point.
No, when he
Turns
was,
it into sake, bro.
Yeah, he was hanging out with
No,
the
it
monks.
turns sake into urine. That's how that works. Like,
I
hoping
used to be good at that.
I'm hoping I'm going to be doing some of that well later tonight. Like,
Hey, remember that time you got drunk and pissed a lot and thought you were Jesus?
well, you know, occasionally I go overboard. All right.
All right, guys. So on any rating scale you want, what would you rate the next Karate Kid? Alan.
I'm going to give this movie 2 out of 10 monks.
Ooh, you're low. All right.
You know, it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but it was just not entertaining. I didn't feel any conflict or any real issue. There was no urgency. All the scenes felt kind of like missing. Like every scene, I felt like could have been like a minute or two longer.
Yeah.
Her karate training was very brief. They could have extended those scenes at least just a little bit to make it seem like she learned a little more karate. The methods were weird. It was kind of awkward. Yeah, 2 out of 10. Just not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it wasn't good.
Okay, 2 out of 10 from Alan. Now, Steve, before I ask your rating, I forgot a scene that I really wanted to talk about.
Okay.
That's where they go bowling. So when Julie's doing her training in the temple,
The monk's bowling.
she has one wish for her birthday, and that's that the monks leave the monastery temple and they come to Boston and they hang out with her and they stay at her house, which they do later. That happens while she goes to prom, though. Like, they all go out. So Miyagi takes all the monks out. They go bowling while Julie's at prom. And while bowling, they encounter some guys that are like, hey, don't ever touch my bowling ball. You want to have a game of bowling? We'll beat you right here, right now.
Every single time Miyagi leaves the house, someone 30 years younger wants to fight him.
They just feel.
Why does this
by,
keep
like, a
happening to
Asian
him?
guy.
Like, he's not looking for it. You can't go anywhere without some guy like half his age going, oh, yeah, fuck you, old man. I'm going to kick your ass now. You have to prove you
You want to fucking bowl? You
Yeah.
want to fucking bowl, man?
You ever bowled before, buddy?
You don't see an old senile guy and feel threatened by your masculinity.
Yeah, you know what makes me feel really threatened is a guy more than twice my age. Like,
Anyone that was in Happy Days, and I just get set right off.
whoa, you played a guy named Arnold? Oh, fuck. That's really intimidating. Like,
So when they go bowling, the monks, they have this like Jedi force shit. They can basically just roll the ball. They don't even have to look or anything. They just concentrate, strike every time.
well, that's
Perfect
another
300
one.
games.
I'm failing to think of other examples for some reason, but I know I've seen that several times before where the joke at the bowling alley is that everyone else is super serious and is the perfect throw, and the one person, often it's a female character, You know, the guy takes the woman bowling, and the implication is, she doesn't know what she's doing, and she bowls crouched down, she just rolls the ball, but every single one's a strike. Like, that's definitely been done in other movies.
Yeah, I feel like Parenthood or something like that.
Yeah.
Miyagi calls it Zen bowling.
That's right. He has a specific name for it. Like, they do this so often, they've named it.
Right.
Even though the monks say they haven't left the monastery for years.
Well, they're Zen Buddhist monks, so
it's just Zen everything?
Yeah, everything's just Zen.
So, like, they're, like, eating lasagna. Like, this is Zen eating lasagna.
I mean, not really, but that's the joke.
You know,
like,
I thought in the movie, at that scene, I thought that was a joke. Like, I thought he just said that just to make shit up.
I think that was supposed to be that.
That's the joke. Like, he was like, oh, it's Zen bowling.
Because we're Zen monks.
I don't think, Steve, you saw this part, but me and Alan did. One of the rolls that the monks did, it was a gutter ball, but it jumped out of the gutter and was a strike somehow.
I have seen that happen in real life. I swear to God. I've only seen it once.
Steve, you're an atheist and I know it.
I am. But
I swear to God shit.
Well, that's true. I can call the person it happened to. I bet he would repeat the story without me prompting him on mic. If I would have to warn him in advance we were recording, just to be fair. But like, we were bowling with a group of other people. It was myself and him, his girlfriend at the time, another friend of ours, and that guy's girlfriend at the time. We were bowling. It's where you guys have your fucking holiday party, the Winnetka Bowl. He lives 3 blocks from there, up Winnetka on a side street near Runnymede Park. Like, we all went bowling, and he I think it was that alley. He tossed one, it went into the gutter and popped, ended up back in the middle of the lane, and it was a strike. I swear to God, it's the only time I've ever seen it happen.
So, like, I've done a lot of bowling, and for it to pop out, that actually, it's uncommon, but it's not, like, unheard of. But usually when that happens, it pops out at the end because of the way the gutter curves. So, like, when it pops out, it hit, like, the last pin, or, like, the one in the corner. It's, like, super not common for it to pop out in the middle and then come back.
Right.
It's like, it'll pop out at the end, but at the end where it only hits, like, 1 or 2.
This is crazy. Someone leave a comment, God
right?
damn it.
Is this possible?
This is wild. Oh, well, look what's on the screen.
Oh, yes, Bungee!
Anyway, Steve, on any rating scale you want, what are you going to give the next Karate Kid?
On a scale of 1 to 10 karate chops, I'm going to give this movie. I'm gonna give it a 5, but I'll explain that. On this particular scale, a 1 is unwatchably bad, a 10 is amazingly good, a 5 is average. And this is not a good movie. It's a stupid movie, but honestly, it's about average. Most movies are about this level of stupid. Like, it wasn't poorly acted. It wasn't poorly shot. The costuming was good. See, I've gone through this rant with several of our movies, you know? Like, it was missing portions of its story. It didn't feel like it had a complete arc. There was very little actual karate in it. Not a whole lot of reason to get invested in the characters. But was it really any worse than, like, 80% of the rest of what's out there? No. So I'll call it a 5.
I agree. It's pretty bland, and that's a problem for me. I think that's more of a problem for me than it is for you, though.
No, I would agree with you, though. I do. I think the blandness of it is part of what I dislike about it.
So I do like several Karate Kid movies.
Yeah.
I don't like this one. It's hard for me to give it a rating because I want to try to be fair.
Right.
So I'm just going to take the easy way out. I'm going to do the old Siskel and Ebert. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm giving this piece of shit a thumbs down.
Yeah.
I can't quite, it's not good enough for me to give a thumbs up, but really on a point style rating system, it falls somewhere in the middle or near the, closer to 0.
If this were a gladiator at the end of a battle in the Colosseum, the emperor would ask the audience whether they wanted him to be killed or live because he wouldn't really care.
Oh, the Joaquin
Phoenix?
Right? Yeah, he'd give him the sideways thumb. And
you do the fake out. Yeah.
If the audience cheers, he lives. If they boo, he dies. That's it.
Boo.
Like, yeah. So
does Hilary Swank live or die?
I would have let her live.
Yeah.
At 11, I definitely would have let her live.
How old was she actually when she did this movie?
So she auditioned at 19, but she was 20 in the movie.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was probably the closest to, like, the real age.
Yeah, by far, she was definitely the closest to
I
actually
mean,
being high
the
school
guy that
age.
plays her boyfriend is like, you'd think they were father and daughter. I mean, this fucking guy is old. This guy. He's got to be like 34, right?
He looks at...
I mean, he looks older than us. I mean, come on.
Right?
All right. So we got to pick from the hat.
It's hat time.
Now, I think Steve's going to do the honors, right?
Yeah, I think that's right, because Alan picked Karate Kid.
Oh, yeah, I did. Damn, I picked this one.
Sorry, Alan. I'm sure it's going to be something I dislike, though, so feel no fear.
Okay. Come on, Tokyo Drift.
Oh, God, I hope not. It's probably going to be something I want even less, though. 5 minutes from now, I might be saying I wish it was Tokyo Drift. Corey. Corey. This one's going to be painful for the two of us, really, way more than him. It's Rise of Silver Surfer.
No!
This is going to be a rough watch, audience.
No!
Right? Everybody ready for a villain that's really a cloud, somehow?
Okay, fuck this. How did this get in the hat?
Right? Oh, man. The things we do to ourselves for other people's enjoyment.
For those that don't know, Rise of the Silver Surfer is the third Fantastic Four movie, the first being the Corman movie.
I see what you're doing there. All right.
And then there were two Fantastic Four movies with the same cast, and then there was Fan Four Stick, as it's now commonly called through the advertising.
God, Jessica Alba's in this. Oh my God, it's the only thing I'll have to look at.
Oh, is Chris Evans in this?
Yeah, Chris Evans is in it. That's pretty cool.
Captain America.
Captain America and Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
Man, who would have thought he'd be successful after something like this?
Right.
This movie sucks.
Not
all right,
me.
we'll talk about how much it sucks later, I guess. I guess that's all we got today for Big Dumb Movie. If you guys want to write in, you can email us at bigdumbmovie@gmail.com. Trying to remember that. You can find us on Instagram. We have a Facebook page, but I'd say if you're going to send us a message, you want to get in contact with us, find our Instagram, Big Dumb Movie Podcast.
I know I've said something you want to call me out about, so just do it.
No, be nice. Comment and tell us what you'd like us to review. That'd be interesting to get. Maybe we can do an audience voted hat or something.
That'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. If it falls into the Big Dumb Movie category, shout it out to us. Maybe we'll do it. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Have a good one, and we'll see you on Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
See ya.
Good evening.